So good morning everyone. My name is Arslan and you are watching Proper Tech Tutorial. So welcome back to the series of learning siemensnx from beginner to pro. And today we'll be starting part 25, that is feature based modeling tools part 4. So just for your reference, I will show you the syllabus. The syllabus for part 25 is the pattern feature. So there are three types of pattern: linear, circular and polygon, and there is a tool known as pattern geometry. So we'll learn about that also. So basically feature based modeling tools part 4 is regarding pattern feature. So let's start. So first of all, what we'll do is that we'll just open a file that has certain features built so that we do not have to build it again. And then what we'll start with is that the linear pattern feature. So and we'll know that how does a linear pattern feature work. And while doing a circular pattern feature, what are the things that are to be taken care of. So you can not create certain pattern features while it is not touching any other part. It should be touching in some parts. So I'll just show you an example after we study linear pattern feature. So first of all, what we'll do is that we had some things such as this extrude as our as we made something like before, and then we mirrored it in our previous video, and also we mirrored this particular part over here, and this part was mirrored from this part. So these things were done. So now what we'll do, we'll just go to the pattern feature. So this is the option that is available for pattern feature, and within this are the options that are available such as linear, circular and polygon. So first we'll select the linear pattern feature, and then we'll select the feature that is to be pattern. So we'll select this one, and after that what we'll do, the reference point is taken by itself. It does not have to be specified separately. And after that, just let me check one thing. Okay, so now everything is visible. Yeah. So we'll select this pattern, this feature, and this reference point is specified automatically. After that, we need to specify a vector. So vector can be specified using any of the following methods, just like we used to specify our coordinate system and our sketch. So vector has the same thing. So for this instance, I'll just use the 2-point method. So what I'll do is that I'll just take this reference point, and then I will take this center point, and this vector will be made by itself. So it has not been made. So what I'll do is that I'll just do one thing, that will click on, I'll just refresh it, and then I will again select the feature, and then I will specify the vector again. So for that to be specified, I will select another point, something that is in between. So I will select this, the arc center of this, what do you say, cone, and then we'll select the arc center of this, the edge blend, the face blend which we did previously. And then the vector has been specified. I will keep the count to 2, and the pitch distance, I will change it. So how can I change the pitch distance? I'll just make it 100, and you will see that a particular arrow grows longer. I will increase it much more, and you will see that it has grown much longer. The distance is now 265. So this thing is somewhat similar to the thing which we used in our 2D or the sketch environment, that is pattern curves. So pattern curves, linear and circular pattern curves, also had the same options that are now available in the pattern feature. After that, I will just select apply, and you see that a feature has been created over here. So now what we can do is that, so we see that this is not exactly the place where we wanted it to be. So I'll just cancel it, and I'll go back to the pattern feature to edit it. I'll double click it, and I will re-specify the vector again. So what I will do, I will just take the arc center of this arc, and center will be the same, and then I will click on OK, and maybe now the thing is much more better. So I'll increase the pattern features length or the pitch distance much more, little bit more. So I will increase it to be somewhat in the between and little bit more. Okay, now I'll click on OK. So you will see that this feature has been patterned from that particular location to this location and at a distance of the our desire, which we selected using our cursor. Now what we can do is that we can just do a project curve over here and we can apply the same this type of spline in this cylinder, because now it is a cylinder, earlier it was a block. Now what we do, we click on the sketch environment, we go over here and then we click on OK. After that we will click on project curve, and project curve, after that where is the project curve? Yeah, project curve, and in that we will select the uh, single curve. After that we'll select this and then we'll click on apply. So you will see that the same spline has been copied over this sketch environment. After that we can just hide this pattern feature and we'll just click on finish, and then we'll apply the same operation such as extrude. We'll reverse the direction and the value of end will be until extended, and I'll just click over here, that is this face, and it will be extended to this face, and then I will close the dialog box. After that I can again use the trim body tool and I can select the target body, that is this, and click on the scroll wheel button. After that click on the tool and then I will click on the apply. I can also change the direction using this, but this is what I desire. So I'll click on apply and close the windows and close the dialog box. I will hide the sketch, I will hide the extrude, and you can see that the same spline trim body action has occurred on this particular block which was converted into a cylinder. So that is the use of linear pattern feature. We'll try to do the same by using, for example, let's say I want to pattern this block, let's say. So it is not available because this is itself a mirrored feature. After that, all what we can do, we can select this one. So after we select this, you see that some things are not selected, like the blend which we used or the blend which we operated on this particular block. So the operation will be linear, and count and pitch and these things need not be told again, because these act just the same like we used to do for the sketch based environment. You can just understand the various types of vectors that can be used. For example, you can just specify the vector. For example, I will select this edge and you will see that the vector has been specified. I can just like increase the distance of the pattern, or you can change the type of vector that is defined. For example, I want to specify something that is tangent, or you can specify it like changed, like I want to have the tangent on this area or tangent on this area or tangent on this area, and then you can increase the distance of the pitch. After that, you can what do is that you can just select a normal to face and you will see that a vector has been considered, and similar and same fashion you can change the pitch. After that you can just select the x, y or z axis, or minus x, minus y or minus z axis, or you can just click the view direction. For example, I'm viewing in this direction, so the vector will automatically be taken in this direction. I can just reverse it and you see that it is same as the view direction. So these are the various methods of choosing the vector. You can also keep these things as symmetric and non-symmetric, and also you can use the option of direction too, that if you want to pattern the following feature in one direction and along with that in the perpendicular direction or another direction. Okay, so this is the two things that are available, like direction 1 and direction 2. After that you can just use the option of pattern increment, which is very rarely used. So what we'll do is that we'll just pattern increment is something that allows you to create that particular pattern, like somewhat a cylinder or a sphere, in order to increase gradually in a gradually increasing manner or a gradient manner. So these things are very rarely used. So these things will be specified in another series that will be made, like things which are the tips and tricks of siemensnx. As of now, these things are not required, and orientation and pattern settings are also not required. It will just be the same as the vector that has been specified. So pattern method is usually used as simple, or it may be single or variational. So for general, it is simple, like 90 to 95% of the things are done using the simple method. So now you will just create a pattern and you will click on apply, and you see that a feature has been made. So since we did not select the feature such as the blends, so does not have the blends in it. If you want to have the blends, and you can just select the blends also, and it will be patterned along with it. So that is one thing. After that, what you can do is that I'll just increase the distance so that it does not interfere with current block. So now coming to the circular pattern feature, I'll again open the pattern feature option. I will click on circular, and I will then click on, let's say I will click on this, the cone. And if you want, you can pattern along with this hole and specify the vector that is to be used. The vector will be this direction and the point will be this direction. So after that, I'll just click on the count and pitch angle. So now I will show you that how the feature that is patterned cannot be made when it is not having any contact with any 3D body. Let's say I increase uh, this angle or the pitch angle to be 45, and I will click on apply. So you will have the dialog box that error parent feature failed to update. Okay, and instance number 11. So that is something that came up. So I just close the dialog box, and I will then click again on the dialog box, and you see that the pitch angle was 45. I will make it back to 12, and now I will click on OK. So you see that a pattern feature has been made. I will open the dialog box again and the count and pitch angle, and I will then again click on because you see, I'll just show you this example that the second pattern feature was made, but after that from 2 to 12, that is 8 of them were not made because they were not having any contact with any solid body. This you can see that it is still having contact with the solid body. So now what we'll do is that we'll change the pitch angle so that every feature has contact with the 3D body. So I'll just decrease the pitch angle to be like 10 degrees, and then I will click on OK, and you will see that now it has contact and all the features have been patterned as per our instructions. So this is something that is required. So like features are generally patterned. For example, let's say I want to create a block and the length should be like 500. After that, you can just click on the this point, and I will click on apply, and you see that a block has been made, a cuboid has been made, and then I will click on hole. So after I will select the hole option and a long vector is selected, I can just click on normal to face or a long vector, whatever you want. So I'll just click this, and after that through body it is okay. Select the body to subtract, and now specify the point. I will specify the point overhead. I will click on apply. After that, what you can see is that I will just click on the pattern feature. I will click over here, the hole that has been made. I will specify the vector, that is this vector. I will specify the point. So I do not want a circular one, I want a linear one. So what I will do, I'll just specify the vector, and I will again open the dialog box, insert vector, this direction, and now it is okay. The count will be, let's say it is 10, and the pitch will be somewhat less. So I'll just click it on count and span, and the span will be just equal to or less than the block. I will use the direction 2, and the direction 2 will be this one, and the count and span will again be used, and the count will be, let's say, 2 or 3, and then the span distance will be a little bit more, like somewhat like this. I will click on apply, and you see that the feature has been patterned. You can also do some other thing, that is that this particular, I'll stop the direction to, I'll click on circular, and I will just specify the vector, that is this. I will specify the point. So let's say the point is this. Okay, I will specify the count and pitch to be like it is 4, or I can also increase that. So I'll just keep it to be at let's say 8, and then I will specify the pitch angle, that is 30. It is okay. I'll click on OK. So now you see that the holes are not touching with each other, as the case was for this particular cone, that each of the cone is touching each other, because if it will not be touching each other, then it will not be in contact with any other 3D body. So it is now able to make that particular cone as a pattern feature. For this hole, since it is already having contact with this particular body, this block, so it need not be touching each other in order to create a pattern feature. So that is something which you need to keep in mind, and these things are generally mentioned in the drafting sheet, so you need not worry about that. Next is the polygon method. So I'll just use this, I'll just create another hole, or what I can do is that I will not create a hole, I will create a cylinder, and I will just specify the point. I will specify the Boolean operation to be like unite, let's say, and then I will click the body and I will click on apply. Okay, a cylinder somewhat very big has been made. So I'll decrease the diameter to be 20, the height to be also 20, let's say, and I'll click on OK, and the cylinder has been made. Now I'll click on pattern feature again. So first I will show you the circular one, so that you do not have any confusion with subtract type of feature and add type of feature, that is hole and cylinder. So I'll specify the feature that is to be mimicked, that is to be patterned. I will specify the vector that will be this direction, third vector, and I will select this. After that I will click on OK, and then I will go back. I will specify the point that should be somewhat like over here. So after that, what we can do, I can just, okay, the point is too far away, I will just keep it somewhat like this, and all the features are now having contact with the 3D body. I'll just click on apply, and you see that parent features fail to update. Okay, let's see what is the thing that has happened. I'll just go back and the pattern feature, and after that I'll just select the point again, and I will orient my, okay, now let's, I'll click on OK, and you see that there is no error message, because now it is having contact with the 3D body, that is cuboid, on which the unite operation was done. So these things are to be considered. Now I'll just change this particular pattern feature again in order to make you understand what is a polygon pattern feature. So first of all, you need to select the polygon option. You need to select the part feature that is to be patterned. You will specify the vector that is to be used as a reference. After that, what you will do, you will just select the point, and let's say the point is over here, and the polygon, the sides are to be specified. So I will select the side to be like, let's say 5, for example, and then I will click on count. I will rather not click on count, I will just click on pitch alongside. So pitch alongside will give me the ability to pattern that particular feature in a same manner as that a polygon is made. So pitch alongside gives you that. So pitch is basically the length of the side that the polygon, imaginary polygon, or the reference polygon, or the construction polygon that you will be making, and the span will be the part of the polygon. For example, if you want to make only half of what you want, you will just click on 180, and you will see that only those particular vertices are now created that have, only those particular vertices are now created that lie within the span of 180 degrees. If I now click on, like, rather than 5, I click on 6, you will see that it has updated to the vertex including the 180 degrees. So this is something that you can do. Also count per side. So this allows you to pattern the pattern that particular feature, that number of times it has to be patterned in each side. So I'll just click on one, and I will just click on one, and okay, it should be at least four, I think. It will not be three, or it can be two. Okay, now it is okay. So count should be two, that it should not be one, because now I remember that previously when we studied our topic of like pattern, linear pattern and the circular pattern, that in the part 16, the count includes the like for example, I specify that the feature to be patterned is four times. The count is four times. So the thing that will be patterned will be three in total, and one will be added, that is the original pattern that was there. So that is something that you need to keep in mind. It is somewhat different from some other software, so that is the thing you need to keep in mind. So count will be 2, and the span will be 180 degrees as you desire. If you want, you can increase the count to 3, and you will see that number of patterns per side has changed. And I will click on OK, and this type of thing has been generated. So these are the three generally used, most often used pattern feature, that is linear, circular, and polygon. Now coming to the pattern geometry, that is the fourth topic of our lecture, that is pattern geometry. So I'll just search for pattern, and the pattern geometry will be available. The pattern face is also there, that is very rarely used, and pattern feature is used, and pattern geometry used, and pattern curve has already been used in our sketch environment. I'll click on pattern geometry, and I will select the object to be patterned. So when I will hover over it, all the things that are in boolean operation with each other, such as unite or something, that all of it will be selected together. So I'll just click over here. I will specify the vector. The vector I will specify using 2-point method. I will specify this, and then the span distance I will specify it to be 300, or I can decrease it much lesser, 100, and I will increase it a little bit so that it does not intersect, and the geometry has been totally patterned. Okay, so now you understand that geometry allows you to pattern that particular whole geometry along with all of its features in totality, just like we patterned this particular thing over here. And pattern feature allows you to specify which particular feature you want to pattern only. For example, one face, two face, one edge blend, two edge blend, or whole of the geometry. You can also use the whole of the, or you can also use the pattern feature in a manner of pattern geometry by selecting all of the features that are present in that particular geometry. In case there is something that is hidden inside it, you cannot select, then obviously you will have to select the pattern geometry, or you will have to go to the wireframe method, and then you will have to select each feature separately. So that is something. So this lecture now concludes the syllabus of our pattern feature and pattern geometry, and in the next video we'll be starting with the part navigator, and what is part navigator, what is model history, and how do we reorder our features. So this is somewhat similar to the thing which we earlier studied in, I think, part 9 or part no, we studied that in uh, we studied that in, yeah, I think it was part 10. So somewhat some things were discussed in that. So the things which were discussed were originally like how do we suppress the feature, or how do we reorder them, how do we view them, how do we hide them, how do we delete them. So I think that is the that is available in part 10, as I assume, because let us just check that. I'll go on my, okay, that thing is currently not available over here, so I will have to open my YouTube. So just a moment, bear with me, and you can either like just 5 seconds, not more. So hide, suppress, reorder. Yes, this is part 10 of 38. So in part 10, we also discussed about reorder. So it has some of the concepts, and we will be discussing it again in our next video, that is part 26. So in case you like our series, do subscribe to our channel and like our videos. If you find them useful, you may share our videos with your friends and comment in case you have something suggestion for us that you think that we should apply. So we'll definitely respond to that. So till the next time we meet, goodbye.